Hi everyone, this is Esme of Wandering Star, and I'm going to be showing you the 2027 product lineup today. So I'm going to go through the half letter planner. I'm going to go through our new product this year, which is a monthly traveler's notebook with a bunch of extra info in it. And then I'm going to go through a selection of journal stickers that I make. Another new product this year that I'm going to talk more about is the Astrology chart notepad. This is a notepad here with blank astrology charts. I am going to show you how you can use these things and what is good for various different purposes. Thanks so much for joining me in this video. So let's start out with the half letter planner. I have made this product every year since I started in 2020. So this is my signature kind of product. I use it myself, and this year I've kept things very basic. All of the essentials are in here. You have weekly spreads, which are vertical with the moon phases along the top. The weekly spreads go from Monday through Sunday, and the monthly spreads go have a Sunday start. So let's see if we can just zoom in a little bit on that. All right, so this is the monthly spread. If you've used this planner for in the past, you'll notice that the monthly spread is now streamlined and redesigned a little bit to give a little bit more space to write in the monthly spread. And then I do include some holidays, and not a lot of holidays, but anytime there's a federal holiday, I do include that, and a couple observances that are just useful. So along the top here, you'll notice a symbol for a planet alongside each day. So each of these symbols correlate with a planet, and the planets are what give the days their names. So Wednesday, for example, is named after the planet Mercury, Thursday after Jupiter, Friday after Venus, Saturday after Saturn, and I don't know why I did that midweek, Sunday after the Sun, Monday after the Moon, and Tuesday after Mars. This system was developed in ancient times before the telescopes were invented and before we knew about the outer planets. So the sky has always been a way that people create their calendars based off of the sky. And I included these planetary symbols above the days as a reminder that the sky is what gives our calendar its structure and its form. And it's also a really nice way if you want to bring more awareness of astrology into your life, if you want to connect more with your birth chart or with the current transits. A very simple way to go about that is to simply think about each planet on its corresponding day. So just for a few minutes, you can just think about, okay, well, today is I'm recording this on a Friday, so I might think a little bit about Venus. Look at where Venus is in my birth chart. Look at where Venus is in the sky right now, and see if there's any aspect between them. And if not, that's okay, but just kind of start to think about the relationship of the planets of my birth chart with the planets in the sky right now. You can also keep it much more simple and just think about basic Venus associations. Like Venus is associated with like love and uniting people, kind of good vibes, high vibes, good experiences, feeling good. Venus can sometimes cause a little bit of contraction if you don't have enough boundaries and kind of like getting lost in the good feelings and not able to have boundaries. But anyways, I'm not gonna talk too much about, I'm gonna focus on my products here. Okay, so you guys get the idea for this. After every month, there is just a blank spread of notes pages, and then you flow into the weeks, and you just go through the year. All right, so that is this planner. I love this planner. I use this planner myself, and it is just one of my favorites. I have a few little astrology reference in the back, but I keep it pretty brief. I got feedback that this planner was feeling too astrology heavy on the info, and so I just kind of streamlined it. And that leads into the next product. This is a new product for this year. It is an astrology chart notepad. I love this. I use it myself. I'm so excited to have it bound in like the notepad form, so I can just carry it around and take off a note whenever I want it and write in an astrology chart. And you'll notice that the lines that divide the houses go beyond the chart, so that if you want to write a second chart around the outside, like for example, if you wanted to put your birth chart inside and then the current transits around the outside, you would have space to do that. And the way you would use this is you would rotate it so that your rising sign is on the left-hand side here. So say you're a Virgo rising, you would rotate it so they're Virgo rising, and then I'll show you. I'm going to grab a kind of thicker pen so you guys can see this. You would begin by writing in your house numbers. So you just 1, 2, and astrology house numbers go counterclockwise. Okay, and so that would be the same for all of us, your rising sign, and then the 12 houses go counterclockwise, beginning at your rising sign. And then you could look at your birth chart and write in the planets. So where the planets are, you would just write that around here. And then you could look at a chart for like the upcoming new moon and write that around the outside. I do have, I like this because it's just very easy breezy. You can just kind of pull it out and use it if you are already familiar with astrology. But if you're just learning, I have something for you. I'm gonna show you right now. So this is a printable product. This is the 2026 version, but I'm gonna be coming out with a 2027 version. And this is where I have actually written every new moon in the outer ring. And then so for this, say you are Virgo rising, so you would rotate it. You would write your house numbers in the center as I just showed, and then you would copy in the planets of your birth chart, and then you would know that the new moons were going to happen in each, what house they were going to happen in. And if I'm losing you, stick with me. Each house corresponds to an area of your life. So, for example, the second house corresponds to money, possessions, and things. So you could look ahead to the Libra new moon, which is going to happen in October, and you could say, oh, if I want to kind of like reset my intentions around my money and possessions and stuff, I will do that around October 10th. It doesn't have to be the exact day. It can be any, a few days before or after, works just fine. And use that time to reset around money and intentions. On the other hand, if you were, say you're like a Taurus rising, all right? That's a very different chart setup. So if you're a Taurus rising, you still have your houses beginning with 1 going around. But Taurus is your first house. That means Gemini is your second house. That means last month, June, well, I'm recording this in July. I might not get it posted till August, we'll see. But June 14th was your new moon around money and possessions and your stuff. So maybe you want to focus that and you're like, shoot, I missed it. Well, you can still look ahead and see what is coming up for you this year, and see that in your Your 8th house also deals with money and possessions in a different way though. Your 2nd house is more about personal money and possessions, and your 8th house is more about the community or shared, and not community so much as like lovey-dovey community, but more like community like, are you invested in the stock market, or do you have any debt? Do you owe debt? Are you paying interest? Inheritance, any kind of shared property that comes through, say, a marriage, lives in the 8th house, as well as our taxes. That's a big one. So thinking about how your tax money is used and how your kind of participation in political system affects how your tax money is used, and all that kind of stuff is in the 8th house. So you could say, that's coming up in December. I can do a little reset around money and possessions, and kind of give it a focus of a more kind of like shared money, whether we like it or not. So I will do a whole video on how to use this chart for people who are just starting out, but let's hop back to the products and continue with this product lineup. The next product is something I'm really excited about. New this year, this is a traveler's notebook size booklet, and it's a monthly booklet. So I do also include yearly planning stuff in the beginning. So it starts out with just a basic calendar. Then after that, I give a moon phase calendar. I give some blank yearly boxes so you can write what is important to you. And then I give just lists of the transits for reference. Then I give a little quick write-up of what the planets are doing in 2027, space for notes, and you launch into your calendars. And again, this calendar is designed to give as much space as possible in the boxes to write in. And then it's really simple. That's it. At the end, there's just a couple notes pages after December. And then on the back, there's a glyph key, just for a quick handy reference. And I can show you. So this size, if you're not familiar with this size, it's just a hair shorter than 8.5 inches this way. And it is, oh my goodness, here we go, like just about 4.5, just about 4 1/3 inches. It's really nice because I love it, because if you have an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and you fold it in thirds, you can just pop it in and it fits really easy. And sorry about the shaky camera. I have been personally getting really into traveler's notebooks this year, so it fits perfectly into a traveler's notebook. It is a traveler's notebook size. That is the exact sizing is on the website, and it does fit with traveler's notebook inserts. So I will show you, I'll show you what that looks like here. So you just slide it in, and then you can have your monthly reference alongside whatever else you want in your traveler's notebook. So this is something I'm really looking forward to using this year. I'm actually going to use 2 of them, one for astrology stuff and one for just personal. So that is that. Now let's move on to the journal stickers. Stickers again are really popular, and I have been using these for years myself. So each, let's see if I need to possibly get a paper to put some stickers on. I had some moisturizer on my hands, which marked up the book. It's okay. All right, so let's just do. All right, so this is going to kind of be my tester page for the stickers, so you can see how they look on paper. These stickers are 1.5 inches wide, so they fit into 1.5 inch planner columns. I created them for journaling, to just put into a journal and then just write, just as an easy way to date the pages of my journal with astrology. So they just stick on the page like that, and then there you go. There you have your dated page. In addition to making the year stickers, and then we have, I do some of the simple transits. I don't do like conjunctions or anything, but if there's, I include, I believe, every single sign entry. Anytime a planet is entering a new sign, I include that, and retrogrades, and some random fun holidays. The stickers do not include any of the US holidays, because they really are meant for journaling, not for making it, not for being your reminder of the holidays. And it was just very cluttered to put holidays on them, but then I did have fun adding some kind of more fun holidays when I have space, basically. So boom, and along the side, the bottom here, I have the weeks written out from, this is from Monday through Sunday. So you get every week of the year, in case you are, doing like more like kind of like weekly journaling, or just want to mark your pages. I use these and I find them really useful, so I just included them with this sticker bundle. So you can buy the whole year at once. If you want the whole year, definitely get the bundle. That's going to be the best deal. And then when I sell out, and I'm only going to have the monthlies. And then I did bring a little kind of sheet here so I can show you what this looks like. I don't so much use the journaling stickers this way, although I do want to see what it looks like. Yeah. So these can be put over anything. I know some people have like put them over like watercolor and gotten very, very beautiful and fancy with it. This is the next round of journaling stickers I have. So it's the monthly transit lists. So these transit lists are, they're a form of reference. And once you learn the astrology glyphs, once you memorize, this is Sagittarius, this is Capricorn, here we have Venus, here we have the Sun conjunct Mercury. Once you memorize that, which is shown, I put a glyph key with almost every product that I make. So this is what it looks like in the planner. This is the little key that shows you how to decipher what these lists are saying. If you're just starting out, oh yeah, and I have the keys here too. If you're just starting out, don't worry too much about this. It will come with time, and then once it comes, it will feel very natural, and this will feel very useful. So if you're at that point and you're thinking about putting the transit list references in your journal or planner, this is kind of what they look like. And then let me put one onto the white paper so you can see what it looks like on the white paper. And I love this material, this sticker material. It's kind of a matte, it's like a matte clear material. I love it just because it's just so versatile, and it kind of blends into whatever you put it on. So the next, before we move away from this, I do want to say that I also offer these, if stickers are not your thing, I offer these transit lists as a printable product. If you purchase that, you will get a PDF download, which when you print it out, it looks like this. So I've printed this on some 65-pound cardstock, and then I will just cut out this thick gray line around the card is actually meant to be freehand cut with a pair of scissors, and you can just cut in the middle of that gray line. And what it creates is a very fun and polished looking result that you don't have to be super fussy about trying to cut exactly with a paper cutter. So I will do an example video of that when I find my scissors. All right, so we have these things. And then for people who are journaling, I also make a sticker for the monthly moon phases. If you want to add moon phases to your journal, your planner, maybe your planner doesn't have them. So these peel off, and I will say this is a sample sheet. So it's slightly closer to the edge here than the final products are going to be. But that is basically it. There. So that's another option. And the final sticker journaling thing that I have is I do make astrology charts that are blank, so you can get a blank chart in any notebook that you want. And these just peel off and stick them down like that. So let me show you now the way that different pens will write on this, because all the stickers are on the same matte clear paper. And so they can all be written on, but these are obviously the ones that are most kind of, you're gonna wanna write on them. So I'm gonna start off with just like a very regular Office Depot ballpoint pen. I do suggest ballpoint to write on these over gel pen. I will show you what it looks like with the gel pen too, but I do suggest ballpoint pen. So for these, you can see that, oops. So this is, that's what it looks like. It's really easy to write on. This is like a little bit of a finer ballpoint pen, so we could just do something like Mercury. This is just like, it's like a zebra ballpoint pen. It's just a little bit of a finer line than the Office Depot one. Venus, Mars, and then this is the gel pen. So even though I'm using a gel pen, also just do notice I'm not using something that's like a really, it's a 0.5. I'm not using like a 0.7. I wouldn't recommend that just because it can smear a little bit more easily. Let's just, so it looks nice, but it's going to be the kind of thing that needs to take a while to dry. If you don't let it dry, it will kind of smear. Oh, that's actually not smearing, but yeah, just be wary that the gel pens can smear. This one I think is specifically supposed to be it's from Muji, and I got it forever ago, and they just went up in price like crazy. It's just kind of like a really basic plastic gel pen. The last thing I want to show you is the brush pen. I love using a brush pen on these stickers. It does take, again, you'll want to give it a minute to dry. You do not want to write on the sticker and then immediately close your journal or swipe your hand across it if you're writing with a brush pen. Ballpoint pen, that's another story. That's usually fine, but with a brush pen, it just takes longer. But I love the way that these look. This is a Tombow. It's called like Fudenosuke. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But I love using these. They look great on the stickers, and they are just a nice way to write the planetary symbols. That I just like the way that those come out. So you can see I wrote Mercury. I wrote the Mercury symbol for Mercury here, and I wrote it down here. So I didn't change my handwriting. I just changed the pen I'm using. I really literally, like, I don't do hand lettering. I don't practice brushwork or anything. I just literally pick up a different pen, and it just looks different. So I wanted to give you an example of that. Another thing that is helpful when you're starting out and you're just writing the symbols for the planets is to just slow down. Don't try to do anything different or odd, just slow down. And it just really, it can be a nice way to connect the information that you're learning. And I highly recommend just writing it, even if you don't like your handwriting. I don't like my handwriting, but I find it really useful to write by hand, if that makes sense. So this is an example of what we have for 2027. I'm very excited about this year. And if you have been using this planner for other years, I've returned to doing at the end of every month, there's a reflection page and then an intention page for the next month. And then you get your monthly spread, and you get your notes pages, and then you get your weeks. So that's the format I started out with. I turned away from that and started including a lot more astrology charts over the past couple years, and now I'm kind of going back to my roots, keeping things simple, and providing the charts as a notepad so that if you do want to work with the astrology charts, you can just rip them off, and you can just tape it in here. Like if you have some washi tape or something fun, you can just, you can just tape it in and go about your astrology. So, and these are also really just fun. I've been carrying them around. If you are more of an intermediate astrology student and you like to chat with other people about their charts and, meet people and they're like, oh yeah, like I have, I don't know, Jupiter and Sag, and, you can just be like, oh, cool. And like, you can pull it out and it could be a fun conversation starter. You can sketch in their chart for them and sketch in the current transits. I use a free app called Time Passages to look at the current transits on my phone. So I can just like sketch that in, and then it can be a fun little conversation piece that you can give someone at the end of that. Or if you're especially if you're kind of like testing your chart reading skills, that can be really fun. I would have loved, when I was learning astrology, for someone to like hand me one of these. When I was learning astrology, I used to fall into conversation with people who knew a lot more than me, and then I would feel very out of my depth, and they would, be kind of chit chat telling me things about my chart that I was kind of like, wait, what? And it was very challenging, I think, for me to think about all this in my head before I was really more of an advanced student. I just don't have that kind of brain that like naturally thinks about this stuff. I like to see it written down, and once I see it written down, then it makes a lot more sense to me. So that's kind of like the evolution of this product, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed seeing this this lineup for 2027. All right, thanks for watching.